I twist the knob, the shack comes alive, this is my job. LEDs glow, antennas high, another night beneath the sky. I'm calling out, hear that tone, across the globe I'm not alone. The net's alive and I'm checking in, let the conversation begin. We're at the amateur radio roundtable, we're all plugged in, solid and stable. W5KUB's calling loud and proud, spinning stories through the static cloud. From KW5GP to WI7BG, we're rocking the bands wild and free. Hey, Glenn's got my...
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started tonight. Boy, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Man, oh man, a lot of things going on. And I got to get up early in the morning, about 6:30. I got a tree company coming here, and they're going to cut down a 100-foot tree in my front yard, and they're going to trim out some of the stuff in my backyard, dead limbs and stuff. So I know all my antennas are going to probably come down tomorrow. So, you know, hey, while you're up there, can you screw this eye bolt into that tree right there, and you know, put my rope through it for me? Thank you. So anyway, that's going to happen in the morning, man. Okay. Hey, welcome to Amateur Radio Roundtable. It's a show about ham radio and amateur radio. Did I say amateur radio and ham radio? And we take it all in here. Also, we're if you're out there listening on WBCQ, I would love to hear from you. If you're listening on 7490, send us an email to tom@w5kub.com. And boy, tonight you're probably watching us on x.com. You may be watching on our Facebook group of 14,000. And if you're not a member of that, please join it. Just search for W5KUB. And we'll add you to the group of 14,000 hams. So we're on X tonight. We're on Facebook group tonight. We're also on YouTube tonight. So I was thinking about expanding this, maybe going on to Twitch TV. We can add that really easy. I don't have the time being retired, you know, with all the things I have to do around here. We're also on just about every podcast like iHeart, iNet Radio, Google Play, all those. And you can always listen to the show anytime. All of our shows recorded. We've got about 1,000 shows recorded now on YouTube. Please, if you can find the subscribe button, please subscribe. It'll help us out a whole lot if you can do that. Hit the like button if you like the show. Even if you don't like the show, hit the like button. Do it for Glenn. That's what he asked for you to do tonight. And let's see what else is going on here. Hey, I think Brett, hey, you know, there was an announcement. ICOM announced a new product. I think we're all going to talk about it, but Brett's going to kind of lead it, maybe introduce it and get us talking about it. I'm going to show you, I dusted off my satellite system and did a couple little recordings. And I want to tell you again about this satellite system that I'm using. It's not on a PC anymore. It's on a little box about 4 inches square. And that's pretty cool. Also, I bought a new meter. I'm going to show you something. Basically it's an unboxing. I just unboxed it and hooked it up, and I'm going to show you it. This is kind of a peek look at it. I'll tell you what that is right there. And I just don't understand how they get two clips into 4 B and C connectors. I just don't understand that. But we're going to talk about that tonight and try to explain that. And let's see, we're going to talk about satellite tonight. We're going to talk about, I'm going to update you on one of the Hamfest buys that didn't work. We've got it going. And I'm going to update you on our show project, which is the 7-band matching network for a 49-foot wire vertical. And it's coming along pretty good, but one of the reasons I got this is because I was having a little trouble in a certain area. We'll talk more about that later. So we got a lot going on here. Let's see what's going on here with Glenn. He's at the top of the list tonight there. Glenn, what's happening your way? And Glenn's audio went off again. He's going to say it's the app's problem.
No, it was me this time.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
See, I'll admit it when it's me.
All right.
But,
and he, no, wait.
well, go ahead.
I was going to say, and you will also not admit it when it's you.
Well, that's true too, but we
Yeah.
don't need to go there. But those of you that were paying attention last week, my air conditioning was out and it got repaired the next day. And as you can tell, we are nice and comfortable now. And the cats
Good.
are really happy the air conditioner is back on.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was, and of course it was the hottest days of the year that it chose to go out. But anyway, now we're into the 7th. The air conditioner's probably pretty much done for the year. And but we got that, and then I'm assuming maybe as part of the air conditioning failure in the heat, one of my backup drives died, and I didn't realize it until yesterday when I went to verify that my backups were still running, and I'm like, oops. And after working with Buffalo Support for a little while, we determined that the drive had indeed gone belly up, and fortunately it's under warranty. So shipping that one back to them and getting a replacement. But in the meantime, I just went ahead and ordered another one from Amazon. It came in this morning and got it up, and I'm starting to copy all my data over to it. I've got about 6 terabytes worth of backups, and everything here is backed up probably 2 or 3 different ways. So that's kind of what I've been doing most of the day. And then in the meantime, I've kind of been getting ready because on September 9th, which is 10 days from now, 11 days, there is the Mina Hamfest over at the Queen Wilhelmina State Park. And so I'm going to be going over there and spending the 2 days. And the nice thing is, the reason I'm going 2 days is they've got a lot of nice things in their drawing, and Tom's not going, so I stand
Oh,
a
man.
chance.
I thought about going, Glenn, but it's too far. Man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's even too far for me. I'm actually getting a hotel in Mina because the drive back and forth's a little too far.
Yeah.
But,
All
yep,
right.
looking forward to it.
All right.
And as you can see now, Sasquatch is here. He's finally nice, cool, and comfortable. So,
That's good.
so
Well, hey,
yeah,
I'll send you some money over. Just go ahead and buy me about 10 tickets. That's all I need.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, I tell you what. Send your money, and I will buy your tickets. Or
No,
at least tell
you trust me. Just go ahead and give me 10 tickets. And if
I'll
I
get
win,
you
if
10
I win
tickets.
something, I will send you some money over there to
Yeah,
reimburse
yeah.
you.
I'll get you 10 tickets, and if any of those 10 win, everybody there is going to not be happy.
Yeah. Well, if either of those win, I probably would never know it. Yeah.
Well, now, I don't know. You spell your name Glen, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, I never could spell really well, but yeah, I'll put your
Yeah.
name on each of the tickets.
All right. Get any closer to getting that tower up?
No, it's he was out of town, so I'm going to get in touch with him tomorrow. It's probably not going to be until after Mina now that we get it delivered, but I'm still working on the book, just as hard as I can. But it's probably going to keep me going till the end of the month at least. So I wouldn't be able to do anything with the tower if it was here anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's ready.
All right. Cool. All right. And how about you, Brett? What have you been doing?
Well, this weekend I went to the Rocky Mountain Swap Fest in Brighton, Colorado, and that was a lot of fun. It was very crowded. It had a pretty good flea market, although it can't compete with the gigantic flea market at Huntsville.
Wow.
And I got a table and sold about $300 worth of merchandise. I
Cool.
also bought 10 raffle tickets, and I guess because it was because Tom wasn't there. I paid about $10 for the 10 tickets, and I won a $25 gift certificate for the ARRL. So I came out ahead there too. So it was it was a good day. Had a lot of fun, chatted with a lot of people, and otherwise, in terms of my own shack, just continuing to fine tune things, and winter will be here before you know it. So I'm getting things ready. Um, Out here, the weather suddenly turned cool. Right now, it's 62 degrees outside, which is a lot cooler than it was a week ago at this time of day. And that weather is probably headed your way. So probably, yeah, so probably over in Tennessee and Arkansas, you'll see some cool weather too.
It's 69.3 here right now.
There you go.
So it's been cool. Yeah. Well, hey, you also put up an antenna.
Yep, I've been working on putting up that GMRS antenna. I've still got to get the cable connected. I want to use LMR 400 or better because, well, for UHF you need that.
Yeah.
And once I'm done, I'll be able to hear everybody as well as having them hear me. I've got a 50-watt radio, so they can all hear me. But if someone has a little HT, a 5-watt HT, and they're up in the mountains, I still want to be able to hear their signal.
All right. Well, let us know how that works out.
Yep. And thank you, Tom, for getting me the antenna. It's going to be put to good use.
When I put that antenna up, we put some hard line on it. We put 100 feet of hard line on it. I think we probably had it up about 75 feet, and we just wasn't happy here. Everything's really flat here, so just really wasn't very happy with it. But anyway, maybe you can make it work, and that's cool. You playing with the GMRS now. And I think we mentioned last week that GMRS now looks like they're going to be getting a low band VHF frequency.
Well, that's right. There's a petition in the works to repurpose the old analog cordless phone band for GMRS. Now this is down about 49 megahertz, and it's used to be used all the time by cordless phones, but now the new DECT phone, DECT, those have pretty much taken over. So there are hardly any of those analog phones left, and they're proposing to repurpose the band. We'll see if they do.
Well, all right. Have you got a video coming up here that we're going to talk about the 7300, or do you have maybe just some bullet items, or what can you tell us about it to get us started?
Okay, I don't have video. I wasn't at the Tokyo Hamfest where they announce it, but I do have still pictures, and I've got some details. So I can go through that.
I have, in case you didn't, I have a video.
Ah.
And we can play it, and I can stop at any time. Glenn, if Glenn wants to yell, or if you want to yell about a certain item, or I want to, we'll just shout out, and I can stop the video. I'll go ahead and start. This is Icon's video. It may be some of the same things that you've already got there. That may be a better picture than the video. Let's see what the video has. It's real short. It's about 2 minutes long. Let's see what it looks like here. All I gotta do is find it. Well, I know where it is. Let's see. Well, maybe I don't have it handy. I thought I had it earlier. I was just going to play it off of YouTube. But anyway, go ahead and let's just talk about what you got there. And I've got some bullet items I did copy off the announcement. So go right ahead.
Well, this is ICOM's picture in the front of their brochure, and as you can see, this display is spruced up a little on the IC 7300 Mark II, and they're making a big deal about the new CW decoder, which is supposed to be very good and is supposed to be able to compensate for someone not having a very good fist. So that's an interesting thing. The front of the radio looks pretty much like it did before, but the back, you can see some differences, and that gives you a hint as to what's going on inside that they've changed. This is the old I-7300, IC7300 back, and you'll notice that they have the accessory. They have the 13-pin accessory socket, and they have just a USB board here, and then they have the CIV serial port jack, an external speaker jack, a key jack, and jacks for the amplifier. Now, in the new one, the back panel looks a little different. Notice that first of all, the USB is a USB-C. So they've modernized that. They now put on the current modern connector. They've removed the CIV connector altogether, so you can't use a serial connection to it anymore. But they've installed an Ethernet port. And that makes it much easier to remote control the thing, because now you don't need to go through a computer in order to get remote control of the radio. The video jack is now HDMI. So you get a modern video connection that you can use to go to a big monitor. Key jack is the same. The amplifier jacks are the same. But there are two new jacks there, and those are for the RX, the receive antenna connector. And essentially what this is it lets you use a different receive antenna from your transmitting antenna, and it also lets you tap in and filter what's coming in on your receive antenna, or process it in other ways. If you have a phase cancellation unit, which takes the signal from a noise antenna and combines it with the QRM laden signal that's coming from your main antenna, you may be able to cancel out QRM in your neighborhood. And I already do that with an external unit. I could probably plug that external unit right into these jacks and be able to do that. So that's another nice feature that they've added. Now, I don't have all the literature, but I do have some. Here's the brochure that ICOM was distributing about this. Now, one other thing you can notice from this is that it says HF, 50, and 70 megahertz. Now, if you're in the United States, this is very exciting because there is no 70 megahertz band in the United States. But if you're in Europe and you can use and you can use 4 meters, now the IC7300 Mark II will be able to use that. So here's the same picture we saw before, and here's where they're touting the new features, mostly the ones that I've already covered. And they're talking about improved receiver characteristics, lower power dissipation. They claim that now, instead of when it's sitting idle, it'll take 0.7 amps instead of 0.9 amps. That might save you if you're operating on battery power. They don't say what they've done to the DSP or the analog to digital converter, but I've seen at least one website which claims that they've enhanced that they've gone to more than 24 bits now on the A to D, and that would be a really welcome thing, because right now, due to the limited number of bits in the A to D on the old IC7300, it didn't have enough dynamic range to compensate for very loud signals, and you actually had to ride the gain control and turn down the gain if suddenly you got a very loud signal, or that basically you just get clipping. So they may have improved that over time. Here's another picture of the back. It's pretty much the same one that I already showed. And that's really about it. This is all off of the Japan website, because ICOM hasn't put any information about it up on the US website yet. So what we have is what's available in Japan so far. I'd really like to see more.
All right, cool. Hey, you know what I think is going to happen with that 70 megahertz band? You're going to find a lot of people in the U.S. using it.
Well, that's going to be difficult because, well, it's not not allocated for that here, but it might be interesting. I don't know if you have the U.S. version of the radio, if that will be locked or not.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the FCC would probably require them to lock that or something. But of course, I mean, it's easy to take the 7300 and open it up for general coverage. So if a person can do that, they can definitely lock it for 70 megahertz. It's
Yeah,
nice. It's got.
probably you'd use out of a diode or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I think you probably just remove one, probably. Hey, the HDMI, that's cool. I was a little disappointed when I got my first 7300. It didn't have an HDMI port where I could put it on a big screen, and I'm glad they added that. I had to wait till I got my 7610 before I got that option, but now you can do it with the 7300. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so now you can show everyone what you're doing, and that's
Yeah,
very handy if
yeah.
you've got guests in the shack, especially.
The built-in CW decoder, that's kind of interesting. I don't know exactly what to think about that. Now, Glenn has got in his books, he's got a real simple Arduino CW decoder. Thing didn't have but like 3 parts in it, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
Very, not much in it, man. And I've built that
No.
a couple times here and built
Yeah,
different variations.
I bet ICOM just stole my design and stuck it in the rig.
Well, they
Yeah.
may have, but that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
It is. I like it.
I would love. I mean, all the CW decoders I have seen, to me, they didn't work as good as I'd hoped they worked. But
Yeah.
maybe ICOM's got one now that works better. I don't know.
Yeah, one thing
Well,
I'm
the way
interested in
it
seeing is how well it corrects for errors, and how well it handles somebody with an uneven fist, or where the dashes aren't long enough, especially.
Yeah, yeah. Or the spacing, or who knows what. I mean, But hey, I'm glad he put it in.
At this point,
That's a neat
anything is better
feature.
than nothing.
That's a neat feature. I mean, people can always send faster, better than they can receive. So, and I read
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be auto speed adjust and all, auto character, adjustments and all that stuff. So it might be okay. We'll see.
Well, I mean, in this era of AI and stuff, it may even be able to start guessing at what the letter was.
Now, I read something somewhere. I didn't really get to the detail, but that's a lot of firmware does this. Will any of that firmware work in a plain 7300? In other words,
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to deprecate it, the old 7300, in order to sell more of the Mark II, or if some of those features will go into the original 7300. The 7300 is what, about 9 years old now?
I don't know. It's probably getting there.
Well, the
yeah.
issue may be the circuit board and even the internal processor and things like that, because with that HDMI port and the USB-C, things are changed. So I/O pins and stuff may have changed on the inside.
Yep. Well, since we do embedded systems, as we both know, the first thing that you run out of is memory. As you expand your firmware, you suddenly don't have enough memory to add new features. And the second thing that goes is your computing power. You don't have enough CPU to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got a better CPU in there, and I'm sure they put more memory in there. Again, what they have done to the DSP, it's so far everything I've seen is just kind of vague. So maybe we'll need to ask the experts from Icon about that.
Yeah. Hey, Glenn, why don't we design a radio where it's just got the basics in it, and all the processing and everything is done on the cloud? What do you think, man?
Yeah, we could call it the Heath Duino.
No, I think you're calling it the Tom Duino.
The cloud
Now
Duino?
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
you
think
build
there
it.
actually
You
is a
build it,
cloud.
and I'll name it. Yeah.
Yeah, works for me.
All right. Man, I need to pull my Arduino CW decoder out of the closet here and play with it. And
You know, that
hey,
was
you
just
can buy
such a
those. You
bare
can buy
bones-
those off of eBay or from China. I guess they're built around the Arduino. I don't know. I bought one. I don't remember what it was built around, but they're cheap. I wonder if ICOM bought one from China and just stuck it in there.
Well, I mean, just like, the one I built is just super simple. There's, not a whole lot to it.
Yeah. Well, I think and the one I built may not have been the one in your book, but it seemed like it had 2 resistors or something like that. It didn't have much of anything, man.
No.
I think it had 1 capacitor to block, for the audio, and it had 2 resistors. I think that was the entire decoder.
I think that was the thing with mine is I used like an NE555 to help decode the signal, or was it a 555 or 556 maybe, that would give you a solid decode on a certain frequency, so it was less susceptible to noise and stuff.
Maybe a 567 or something. I don't know.
That may be it. Yeah, I'd have to look
Yeah,
at the schematic.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
my
Well,
gosh,
the
that was
way
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, the way they're using AI to do things like put closed captions on Zoom chats, they ought to be able to do a lot. I don't know if they put it in there. They should be able to do a lot with AI-like algorithms to figure out what the guy said.
Hey,
make
that'd
it
be
into
cool.
words. And figure out when there's a pro sign, which people run characters together, for pro signs, and it'll be able to code those and tell you what they are.
Well, hey, that's a cool idea. In addition to your CW decoder on there, put a speech to text. You don't even have to turn the volume up, man. You just read what the guy's saying at the other end. That'd be possible.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
Yeah. I wonder why they didn't do that.
Should not be an issue.
Huh. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, there'll be more to come on the 7300, I'm sure. We'll get Ray on here from ICOM one day and talk a little bit more in detail on this.
Yeah, you made me go dig up my schematics for the thing.
Okay.
Yes. By the way, one other thing which ICOM did not mention is what U.S. pricing is going to be like.
Oh.
Is it going to be in the $900 range, the way the IC7300 is, or are they going to bring it up to the level of some of the newer Yaesus?
I think I saw something somewhere. It may not have been U.S. pricing, or it may have been equivalent, but I thought I saw somewhere around 1,100 or something. I don't know. Wow. Guess we'll find out.
Yeah, my design used a LM358 as an amplifier, and that was more to stabilize the audio, and then a 567 decoder.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was more to that in terms of audio filtering and management that there was actually the code, because once I get it to a digital signal, it goes straight to the Arduino, and the Arduino handles the rest.
Yeah. All right. Make a note here. Okay. All right. Well, hey, let's just take a quick break here. We'll be right back, and we got a lot more stuff to talk about tonight. So don't go away. ICOM's IC7760 is a pinnacle of base station excellence for amateur radio enthusiasts. Designed to deliver unmatched performance, the IC7760 features state-of-the-art technology, exceptional RF clarity, and an intuitive interface, all housed in a sleek and durable design. This base station features a separate remote control head and RF deck, providing enhanced flexibility for installation. Place the RF deck closer to the antenna feed point, freeing up space on your desk. You can also connect the control head to the RF deck through your home network, enabling remote operation from anywhere in your home without needing a PC. Pair the IC7760 with a powerful IC PW2 linear amplifier and take your contesting experience to the next level with ICOM's industry-first linear amplifier. Together, they redefine what's possible in amateur radio. For more information about ICOM's amateur radios, please visit icomamerica.com/amateur. All right, guys, we are back, and let's see here. IOL says, tune to 75-meter phone, let it diagnose everybody's medical issues. That'd be pretty cool. We could do that. We could use that on a show. Maybe we get a plug-in here to put it in there. That reminds me, let me take 1 minute and tell you guys, I'm not going to be here next week. Brett may try. I'll say may because I'm giving him an out if he don't want to, or if he has technical problems and can't do it, which either may happen. But Brett may try to bring a show up. Now, I don't think I will be here next week. Tuesday, I'm having a little surgery done. I'm not sure if I can make it Tuesday night or not, but I'm going to have a disc replaced in my neck. And the way they do that nowadays is they cut your neck in the front, and then they go in there and they move everything out of the way and move your vocal cords and your esophagus and your, I don't know, whatever those things are called in there. You know, those arteries you got in there, those big arteries and stuff, and so they can get to your spine back there, and then they'll fix that bad spot, that C4, C5. That sounds like a capacitor or two to me, but here's what
explosive.
Yeah. Well, now you got me worried. So here it is, guys. Here's what. Let me stop this thing. I don't want this thing going off like that. Here's what I got to do tonight. They got it right there between C4 and C5. See that little red spot? I've got a spur. Basically, it's just pushing in there, and it makes that road look like it goes around something. I don't know. It makes a curve there. And I think that disc between here, that little blue thing, is kind of squished. So what they're going to do is, if they get back here to it, see, they'll just pull that sucker out, and they'll cut that spur off and give me a little relief there. And they'll put in a piece of titanium. Yes, a piece of titanium. This is not the exact one I'll be getting, but you can see it just slides right in that opening there. Look how simple that is, man. I don't know why these doctors charge so much for that, but you just slide it right in there, and then he's got I think he puts 4 screws in the front there that will actually hold it in place. Here's an example of another one. This is not like the one I'm going to get, but you can see they put a new disc in, and they put this titanium plate in there and screwed it in. I don't know about that. Anyway, so what? Anyway, what I got to look forward to is, here's just a few symptoms. I've had friends that did this. My friends told me, he says, well, I couldn't swallow. He said, I was calling a doctor every 2 hours. He says, I couldn't swallow. I couldn't eat. I couldn't breathe. And I'm thinking, man, you can't breathe. How long can you last if you can't breathe? 4 minutes maybe? I don't know, man. But so here's, I may have some bleeding, infection, nerve injury, spinal cord injury, spinal fluid leak, voice change, damage to the nerves, stroke, damage to the carotid artery. I mean, look at all these things I might have. Now, I do know that when you stretch that vocal cord over to the side, it's going to definitely cause me voice problems. But they say the voice should come back. Now, I don't like the word should, but that's what I got to deal with. The voice should come back. I don't know if it's going to take 3 or 4 days, or if it's going to take 2 weeks, and it may affect my voice from now on. And if so, I'm just going to turn the show over to Glenn and Brett, and I'm not going to be on here anymore, especially if I, sound really bad. Because I have.
What you need to do is tell them that you want to sound like Wolfman Jack when you're all done.
Well, you know what? There was a deal. I don't know if Brett saw it. Glenn, you may have seen it at Huntsville. There was a guy had this box that did voice and a microphone, and you could put it on like Donald Duck or anything. And when you talk in that microphone,
I missed that one.
that's how it came out. I started to buy it. I think it was $25.
Oh,
But instead, I bought a
I have one
flashlight.
of those.
Instead, I bought a flashlight. Yeah.
I have one of those. It's a little microphone that will change your voice.
Oh, do you?
It'll give you reverb. Yeah.
Cool. We ought to start using that here on the show here. Man.
It'll even
Well,
play
we'll let
music
you
so
use
you
it.
can sing karaoke through it.
I may need to borrow that if my voice doesn't come back. So, and I may come back bass. I don't know, but anyway,
Yeah.
that's why I'm not going to be here next Tuesday. And who knows? I might not be here the next Tuesday. I have no idea, guys. Anyway,
well, you may have to start doing the show in CW.
I may have to. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the surgery. I always look forward to the surgery because I love it when they put you to sleep. I always try to see how fast I can count upwards. You know, I usually get to 3. Well, maybe 2. I think I got to 3 once. And then I don't remember anything after that other than just waking
Well,
up. Yeah.
Let me tell you, Tom, I just had that ablation, about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the modern anesthetics are 10 times better. They put me up on the table, and I
Yep.
heard the nurse anesthesiologist say, okay, starting the IV, and I didn't even hear the rest of the word. Next thing I know, I wake up, not groggy, nothing, and they had me get out of bed, and I was walking up and down the halls 5 minutes later, but they really didn't tell me why they wanted me to walk up and down the hall. They were checking to see if I was going to bleed out.
Yeah, I tell you, man, they keep secrets for sure. Hey, Doc says,
Yeah.
Papa Doc says, take Elon's voice. Now, Elon must be watching right now because he just called in. Elon just called in. Let me see. Wait. Let's see if I can get Elon on here. Hang on. We're going to get him. Elon. What's going on, Elon?
Oh, he's running a company, man. He ain't got time for you.
Why is Elon?
Last
not
week you
talking?
couldn't shut him up. This
Oh,
week,
wait a minute. All right, here we got to connect. The phone system's working now. Phone system's working.
Hey Tom, I just wanted to let you know that when we get our mission to Mars going, I want to schedule you and your show to be the first to communicate with us in space. By the way, I never miss an episode of Amateur Radio Roundtable on Tuesdays nights on w5kub.com.
All right. Well, you guys see, hey, Elon, thanks for calling in, man. I know you're busy, but we appreciate it here. Appreciate you taking time out to watch here. And when you do go to Mars, we're gonna talk to you guys there. We've got our satellite system set up here, and we'll be talking to you there. All right. Now, where were we? Okay,
I
that's
was
all.
actually
Oh yeah.
That was what?
I was actually reading somewhere that somebody is working on not EME but EVE communication, bouncing
they've
off
done it.
of Venus.
Yeah.
That has
Have
been
they?
done now. Yes,
Wow.
that has actually been done. When we were closest to Venus just
Amazing.
recently, they've done it.
Wow.
Now, as for the, by the way, as for the disc replacement technology, my wife had that, but not in her neck. The last disc at the bottom of your spine
Yeah.
blew out
Yeah.
for her.
Well, you know,
And they have to. What they do is they have to basically cut you open, move your intestines and everything there out of the way to get to your spine. They come in through the front on that one too. But she was walking around that day.
is that right?
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, the only place I've seen where they cut your neck like that is in war pictures. Now, so, you know, that's a little concerning. But, I don't know. At least I'll be asleep. Anyway, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. Doc says propanol is good unless you're Michael Jackson. That is some good stuff. It will put you to sleep fast, guys. Oh man, and you sleep good. Yeah. You sleep good with that.
I actually saw on my bill for the stents I had last year, they gave me some fentanyl too.
Well, I don't
know. They
know.
gave me a little mix of everything.
I don't know what that. I read about that. It's just like they're doing on gasoline, where they got 5 or 10% alcohol in the gasoline. Yeah. They're doing that to save money. Is what they're doing.
Well, I told them to give me the premium stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, they probably gave you some old unleaded. Okay. All right. We got to get back to ham radio here.
True.
We got to get back to ham
diesel
radio.
In with it.
All right. So let's see. That's what we want to talk about. All right. Hey, just a quick review here, guys. I got a new piece of test equipment in today. I bought it off of Amazon, and I didn't think it was going to come in this quick, but I'm glad it did. I'm doing a lot of work with inductors, and especially for like our balloon launches, where I build these little bitty traps, that go on the antenna, like the 10-meter traps and stuff, and then on our other project we're working on here, the 7-band matcher, I've got to have an inductor wound basically for each of those bands, and they vary greatly in inductance. And the meters I had wouldn't read very low, very accurately. I mean, they wouldn't go down low enough. And so I said, I'm just going to splurge and give me a better meter that will do it. So here's what I bought, and it came in today. Let me see if I can show you what I got here. And let's see. All I got to do is find a camera again. Boy, oh boy. Well, let's see if I can do this. Yeah. There it is. Man. Okay, there's a camera right there. Okay, this is what I bought here. This is called a East Tester. I don't know why. Let me pull a little strip off here. Now it's brand new. Look at that. Okay, now so one of the things that when I got this thing, here's the leads. It came with one test lead here and another test lead. Now that's all cool, right? But the red,
they're going to be critical.
Yeah, I'm getting what?
They're going to be critical because if you were measuring a low inductance, you need low inductance leads so it doesn't mess up your reading.
That's true. So I've got a red one here, but hey, look, it's got 2 wires coming out of it, and I got a black one here, but it's got 2 wires coming out. And then on the end of these 4 wires, look at this. 4 BNCs basically aren't marked. And I go, how do I know which one to put on what, on where? The BNCs are marked high current, high pot, whatever that is.
High voltage.
Potential.
High potential. Yeah, high potential. Low potential. And low current and low current. So the 2 red ones go in the first 2, and then the 2 black ones go in the second 2. All right. So that is called Kelvin. These are Kelvin clamps. Now, if you wonder what Kelvin is, we got to look it up. We got to look up Kelvin. So I've got Chat GPT here. We're going to do Kelvin.
I was going to say, from the way they look, you could also.
Yeah.
The way they looked. What was that?
Yeah. While Brett was talking, I didn't want to interrupt him.
Yeah. Well, Lord Kelvin was a famous British physicist, and that probably has something to do with it.
All right. So we're going to ask him, what is a Kelvin clamp, and how does it work? So here we go.
You also looks like you could probably jump the battery in your truck on a bad day.
All right, let's see what it says here. What is a Kelvin
There you
clamp?
go.
A Kelvin clamp is a type of electric test clip made from 4 wires. Kelvin measurements
There you go,
of
Brett.
resistance, commonly
Yep.
used in precision electrical testing to measure very low resistance, like in wires, contacts, connectors, and so forth, and very high accuracy. My understanding is, with this equipment here now, I can measure milliohms. I never measured milliohms before, and things like that. It supports 4 terminals, serving, also called Kelvin sensing, by having 2 separate pairs of contacts. So, current contacts and voltage contacts. And anyway, if you want to know more about it, you can look up Kelvin yourself and read it. But obviously, Professor Kelvin figured out a way to do this.
Yeah.
And make it very accurate.
Well, this technique is also used in solar power systems.
Uh-huh.
If you use the current carrying conductor to try to measure the voltage, you get the voltage wrong because of the drop in the current carrying conductor. And so
Yeah.
you have a separate sense wire that
Right.
goes out and tells you exactly what the potential is on your
Well, look
battery.
at there. We didn't even have to go to Chat GPT. We've got Chat Brett. We need to set you up. We need to set you up a website. All right, so let's play with this a minute. Let's play with this measure. I don't know. I don't even know how to work it yet, but I'm gonna put it in. It's supposed to flip automatically from resistance to capacitance to inductance, but I can manually go to inductance. So I'm in the L mode right now. So let's measure some inductors here real quick. Now, anybody that looks at this, let me get it back on here. Anybody looks at this, I'm a home brewer from the 1960s. I can look at this and tell you what millihenry it is, because this is a very common part in ham radio. This is back in the olden days when we built stuff. This is a 2.5 millihenry. I should have asked if anybody knew the rating of it before I said that. This is a 2.5 millihenry. So let's check it and see how close to 2.5 it really is. So we're going to clamp it there, and we're going to clamp it here. And let's see what it says. Oh, look there. It came out at 2.5388 millihenry. That's pretty good. I guess that's within tolerance. This thing is supposed to be accurate within 1/10 of a percent or something. I don't know. I know nothing much about it right now. Let's do something. Let's measure a resistor here with it. Let me go to resistance here. There's resistance. Now here is a 10 watt power resistor, and this is a 0.51. I don't know if you can see that or not. 0.51. Come on. Focus. It's a 0.51. There we go. All right, let's see what it says. We're looking for 0.51. So we're going to check it out here. All right, here we go. Uh-oh. It says it's a 0.52. 0.52. I guess that's in tolerance probably. That is a 5% resistor right there. But I think it's within tolerance. And let's try something else out here. Let's just take this
Maybe you need to
resistor.
zero the meter.
I haven't even attempted that yet or calibrated it. I'm counting on some Chinese guy calibrating it before he sent it to me. All right, here's a resistor right here. It's an orange red. For anybody that knows the color code, that is 33 with 2 zeros. That's 3,300 ohms right there. 3,300. Orange red. 3,300. Let's see what it measures on resistance. Well, it looks like it's measuring about 3,500 instead of 3,300. Now, Brett, you may be right. It's probably not calibrated. Let's look at another inductor.
Well,
here.
there's another thing.
Just a
Yeah.
little
That-
high.
That looked like a silver band or a gold band for the tolerance.
Yeah, it looks like, I think it's silver, so I think it'd be what, 10%?
Yep,
10%.
silver's
So
10.
10% of 3,300
3,300
is 330 ounces.
So that's well within tolerance.
Yes.
All right, let's take this little inductor right here. This inductor actually has a ferrite inside it to adjust it, but this is going to be a very, very low inductor because you can see it didn't have but about 5 turns on it. Let's see what this comes in at. I'm guessing it's going to be less than a microhenry.
There you go.
0.42 microhenry. Okay. All right. So this is my new thing to play with, and let's see. It's got a standard in the back. It's got a standard, your computer system type plug. Let's see if I can get over right here. And it's got a USB and it's got a serial port and so forth. It's about 11 inches long, and probably, I don't know,
Is
8
that
or
a
9 inches.
VGA port in the back?
Let me look and see. I think it might have. Yes, no. Well, VGA, didn't a VGA have three rows?
Yeah, VGA has 15 pins.
It has how
Yeah.
many?
15. This looks like a 9-pin, so I don't
Yeah,
think
so it's a RS-232, and I'm not sure what handler is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it does have USB.
Yeah. Okay.
It does have
kinda
USB, and it looks like it got a switch selection. I guess that's it for. I don't know. I guess that's a set for 110 here. But anyway, that's my new toy, and I've been playing with it a little bit since I got it today, and it's going to help me greatly to design LC circuits, especially when I calculate values or see schematics that have a value. One of the things I found out with, in experimenting with our show project of the 7-band matcher, is that you can just about take any 2 values, inductor and a capacitor, and make it hit resonance. But that's not always best. It looks like in my experimenting that I need to, I don't know, I need to follow more, I guess, some of the diagrams that people have already figured this out and it worked well. I don't know, maybe it gives me a higher Q or something. I have no idea. And that's one of the problems I think I'm having with the antenna project that I'm working on there. So let's jump over to the antenna project real quick.
Yeah, while you're doing that, the handler is a device that automates the handling and testing of components connected to it, such as in a production line. So you can do a pass-fail based on a preset specification.
Yeah.
So it's meant to take it from a feeder such as a tray or a reel and just do bulk testing.
Yep. Well, I'm
That's
going to
what
read.
Google say.
There is a calibration section in the book. I will read it. I'm not real familiar with this type of instrument here. I'm not sure what all the buttons do yet.
Well, where'd you get it from?
I ordered it off Amazon. But you can
And-
tell
and
it.
how
But
many-
it's a Chinese product. It's
How many arms and legs did it set you back?
it was $249.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So it was made by Hangzhou Zhongcheng Electronic Company. Zhejiang East Texture Measurement and Control Technology Co. Ltd. So I'm going to read about it and figure out how to calibrate it and everything. It's all in a book here. And
Nice.
we'll figure it out. I would imagine it's fairly accurate right now. Much more accurate than what I had, the instruments I had over here. You know, I had
Yeah, you
just-
weren't able to see millihenries and microhenries before.
yeah, the get down into the very low microhenries. I couldn't see it on these little handheld, these little meters. You know, they did capacitance and voltage and inductance, and it just wouldn't go down. You know, low enough. Okay, so let's look at. Let's take a look here real quick at. Let's talk. Well, while we're on the subject. Let's talk about the project where we were building the 7-band, 49-foot vertical resonant tuned all-band, 7-band antenna. So you can see I'm making some progress here. I think I'm going to probably need to swap out some of the capacitors, and I've got to take better care. That one coil there is kind of on the left side there on the PVC pipe. It's functioning very well with that capacitor there. That's 40 meters, and it actually tunes the antenna out there down to 1.0 to 1.
Wow.
What was that?
I said that's fantastic.
Yeah. So you can see there in the design, we've got seven relays, and what those relays do is switch in or out the LC network. I also found that, you know, on the LC network, you can flip the LC network, just turn it over. The input becomes the output becomes input. And what that'll do, that'll change it from a 50 ohm to high impedance out to a 50 ohm with low impedance out. So I noticed on I think on 40 that I had to switch the direction. In other words, the inductor came first and then the capacitor came second. And once I made that change, the dip just was perfect, man. It would just swing right down to nothing. So anyway, now I'll be playing with inductors. You can see I've made several there in the background. And basically I've been just putting them on there and shorting out the turns until I see a big dip, and then tune the capacitor to 1 to 1. But I don't think that's exactly the best way to do it. So I need to get more in line with, and I don't know what to call it, but you know, I can make a 30 picofarad there, completely go resonant with X number of turns, or I can go up from 30 picofarad to 100 picofarad and use a different amount of turns and still go resonant. So I've got to figure out which one of those is right, because I know one of them probably is not the most efficient. I guess that's the word for it there. So I'll be playing with inductors and stuff. Now the next week or so, probably not much playing.
No, you're going to be laid up with that much rearranging.
Yeah, probably will. I can dream about it when I'm
did any of
sleeping.
these parts come from the Huntsville Hamfest?
What was that?
Did any of these parts come from the Huntsville
Huntsville?
Hamfest?
Yeah, I bought a couple capacitors. I have I think I put one of them in there. That very one on the right bottom. I got that at Huntsville. All right, so there you can see now. If you look down at the very bottom, that little board, the board with that coil and that 3-gang capacitor, it basically is just a little test thing. I can go out there and clip that on the antenna, and I can take a shorting clip and go up and down that coil, and with that capacitor, I can tune any band to a 1.0 to 1. But when I try to duplicate that capacitance and roll an inductor to match that inductance, and see that's another problem I'm having. I don't think I'm matching that inductor very well when I wind one. I try to get, I stay at the same two inches of diameter. My spacing is a little different. My wire size is a little different. So I'm sure I'm getting a different inductor or a different amount of what's the word? Henries, millihenries on. Not millihenries.
Yep.
So, but that little thing on the board is good for getting you in the ballpark. You can see that. Just flip it to any band and change the tap and just turn the capacitor, and man, that needle goes all the way down. But
well, now that you can get it in the ballpark, all you got to do is measure it and then wrap a new coil.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. But you can also see in the proximity of everything here, there's a lot of stuff that's pretty close to each other on that board there. And even though all 7 bands are completely separated by relay, only one LC circuit is actually in the circuit, but there's still a lot of stuff in proximity there. Moisture control, will you install this? Mark, my moisture, I'm designing this to work at 98% humidity. That's where we're shooting for. Let's see, coax changing between me and the antenna. Now this goes at the antenna, so that shouldn't make a lot of difference. Actually, I don't think the coax between the rig and this. Yeah, that's why I like putting the matching device at the antenna. Let's see. Yeah, I've got a plastic case I'm going to put it in. Let's see what else we got here going here. So you can see I'm playing with different coils. Now, my plastic enclosure, I've only got a 6-inch tall plastic enclosure, and if I use that coil, look, that's over 6 inches. That's at 6.5, so that won't work. Plus, it's going to short out on the bottom. And let's see. Can't turn it upwards. Well, that's 5.5, but it's setting on the stuff below it, so that's going to be pushing it. I might could get that in there. Yeah, see, that's 6.5 inches there. Using a smaller diameter, 2-inch diameter, I can well fit something like that into the case, which on one of my first attempts, you can see the coil is wound on the PVC, but if you look on the very right end, I had to add 2 more turns out in the open there in the air. So, and you can also adjust these coils a little bit, more inductance, less inductance, just by squeezing together the turns or pulling the turns apart. So that gives you some fine tuning. It's just once you find that sweet spot, you don't want things changing. So we'll work on that. So there it is again, kind of laid out. We're coming in with the 8 conductor Ethernet type cable up here at the top, and it'll select one of the 7 relays, and the 8th lead is our common. There is again a couple coils wound just in the air down at the down on the far end there. Probably need to swap those out. And let's see. I think that's a repeat. That could be a repeat. And yeah, that's a repeat. Okay. So that is kind of where we are on that project. And one of the things too, it was getting, it was so hot outside the last couple months that it was impossible to go out there and work on it more than 5 minutes at a time. And of course, you've got to work on it out there at the antenna, because if I tried a different piece of wire or something out my window here, everything would be different. Also, I learned, and I should have known this, that the radio system, I eventually, or I started out using my buried radio system I have under my antenna farm, and I've got different length radios buried, some 130 feet, some shorter, mainly for each different band. It didn't seem to want to work very well, and studying up on the radios, I read where, hey, just simple 10-foot radios, non-resonant 10-foot radios, do a pretty good job. And of course, the more you put in there, the more efficient it is. So I just laid 4 10-foot radios out, and this thing started working much better. I could tune it very much better there. So if you change anything like the radio length, it's going to change all the tuning of all the capacitors. Now, I'm sure to some extent we could go in there and we could retune. You know, like if I added a 17 meter radio, it'd probably affect all the bands. And I could go back in there and readjust the caps here for each band. So you can't just go out there and change. You can't just go out and change the radios. All right, what do we got there? What do we got, Brett? Some kind of box.
This is the sort of box that I use for this kind of a project. I don't know if this particular one is big enough, but it might be. It's a fiberglass box with an O-ring, so it seals up real nice against the weather.
Yeah. I've got something here. Let me get something here to show you. All right, I'm back. I've got some commercial boxes. Let's see if I can show you
there
this.
There you go.
Hey Tom, I just wanted to let you know
Oh,
that
no.
when
Where'd
we
he
get our
come from?
mission to
Where'd he
Mars
come from?
going, I want to schedule you and your show.
John always interrupts.
There he goes. All right, I've got some of these with the latch on them, with the the end connectors, and let's see, end connectors, and end connectors on both ends. This feels like some type of plastic, but these boxes aren't big enough to. Well, I bet they're watertight though. Yeah, look at that. Look at this box.
Yep.
And that's a clear front panel. Right there. So I was hoping to use something like this that really it's got an O-ring around it, closed. But it's not big enough, and this is a pretty good box. I think I need something like 16 long. Probably 16 long by maybe 12 or 13, and I need about 6-inch height clearance.
They make them.
Oh yeah. Yep, they sure do. All right, anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger box. Let's see what Don says. Yeah, Don says since LT circuits involve both capacitance and inductance, which should receive the priority? And that's exactly what I've started thinking. That I can make, a high capacitance and low inductance resonant, or I can make a low capacitance, high inductance resonant, but one of them's got to be better than the other. I need to study that and see what I need to shoot for, you know.
Isn't that where the Q of the circuit comes into play?
Yeah, I was going to say the inductor, and I guess the Q of the circuit, you know. So that's what that's what I'm studying right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would imagine that the lower the series in the impedance and the higher the parallel impedance, the less you'd lose.
And I tell you something, I've been using Chat GPT for a lot of things. You can type in there, design me and you get it. An L circuit comes in a couple of different ways. You've got the inductor to ground, and then you either got the capacitor before it or the capacitor after it. So that's one of two ways. So, but one of them gives you a match to a low impedance, one gives you a match to a high impedance. Now, I can tell Chat GPT, I can say, design me and you gotta in your writing you got to specify it how the LC circuit is. For instance, if the capacitor is in series with the antenna, you say C series, and if the inductor is separate and it goes to ground, you say L. Well, I've got too many letters in my mind here. C series, L shunt, because it's shunted to ground. So you've got a series capacitor and a shunt to ground, and then the antenna. So I say, design me a C series L shunt network for 14.250 using a 49-foot vertical piece of wire mounted at ground level. You got to say all that, and once you say that, Chat GPT, it's amazing. It comes back, it'll draw you the circuit, it'll explain to you the circuit, it'll give you the component values, and it's been very helpful in a lot of these things. It's just amazing how it goes out. And it'll even say, would you like to see this on a Smith chart? It'll even draw you the Smith chart, and you say yes, and it'll show you the Smith chart, and it'll plot it on the Smith chart. So Chat GPT is something else, I tell you. Wow. All right. Well, anyway, that's the update. That's the update on the antenna matching circuit. Let's see. I'm reading the chat room here. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. So okay. Anybody in the chat room got questions or anything? I've tried to keep reading it, but I may have missed you. We have anybody new in the chat room that's new tonight, that first time joining with us? So again, if you just tuned in out there on WBCQ shortwave 7490, you're listening to Amateur Radio Roundtable, a show about ham radio and shortwave listeners. Our live video show is Tuesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time on W5KUB.com. You'll find us on YouTube, X, and Facebook, and all the podcast carriers out there. All right. What else is on our list to talk about tonight? Let's see. Project 7 band. You know, I hadn't talked about that. Let's get the satellite thing in there real quick. I want to give you just a quick recap on the. Oh man, I got two things to talk about. Let's do this real quick, and then we'll do the satellite after it. You guys know I got the I got this VTVM at Huntsville. It didn't work. The guy gave it to me. And I love meters like this. So I took it. I didn't need it. I'm contemplating what to do with it. But it's an ICO. I built several ICO kits back in the early 60s when I was 16 years old and just got my ham license. The guy did a really good job soldering and putting this together. But it doesn't look like he took very good care of it as time went on. So let me show you something. Alright, so I open it up. It's not working. I open it up and first thing I notice is this battery. Well, there we go. Look at that battery. Let me go back. I don't have these in any certain order. I don't have them in any certain order.
The first thing you got to look at is that Rayovac logo. When did they switch off of the yellow and blue? That was centuries ago.
But this is a non-leak battery. See, Rayovac made a non-leak battery. And, everybody should know that. I mean...
What is the voltage of
right
that
there,
battery?
see, it's a 1.5 volt. It's a C, what is it, D? Or C. What's the big one? The C or D? I forget now.
The D is the biggest one.
The D. So you can see right there, Rayovac made a leak-proof battery. So...
Looks like the leaks caught up with it anyway.
So, yeah, something caught up. Now, it was so corroded on the bottom there, I almost had to pry it apart. You can see it kind of leaked, and it leaked on top too, on both ends actually. I went through the manual and I did a alignment. I have not changed any capacitors in there at all, and I think there was probably just only 2 or 3 capacitors underneath there, so I didn't want to change it. Now, back in the day when I was building and everything, I would have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of capacitors like this to choose from. This is a 0.1 at 1,000 volt. Nowadays, probably for the last 15 years, Glenn, all I've got's little stuff, 50 volt and,
Exactly.
16 volt and 6 volt. I don't even have anything like this anymore.
No.
Man.
They're harder to find now.
Yeah, don't even have anything like
eBay
this.
and AliExpress to the rescue.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some out there, sure. But
I get everything from AliExpress these days.
and it may be new old stock. You might buy one, and it may be the same age as this one here that's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still making those, but anyway.
Well, that looks like a wax capacitor there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it only had like 2 or 3. I said, well, I don't have the capacitor, so I'm just going to try to align it, calibrate it by the book, and it calibrated just perfect. Now, I didn't like it. I didn't like this thing because it had 2-conductor AC cord. It wasn't polarized or anything. Okay. So it wasn't polarized, and I thought, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to put me a polarized cord on here. See, it's got a transformer in there for the filament and I guess the high voltage. So
what was the battery for?
Well, they used that on the ohm scale. And so neither one of the AC wires was to the chassis. A lot of this old stuff, one of the wires, we've talked about it, used to be hooked to the chassis. And that's playing, electric, suicide, I guess. But anyway, so I got me a 3-conductor AC cord, put in there. And, the neutral and the hot, it connected to the primary of that transformer. Well, I connected the ground wire to the chassis, to safely ground the metal chassis when I was using it. But there seemed to be a problem. Underneath that probe, that top wire there, probe. There's your ground. There's your negative lead, and that negative lead plugs directly into the chassis. The negative lead plugs directly into the chassis. So when I get to the AC part, I don't even think about this. I'm in the alignment. I'm going to align it, and I'm going to set it for 120 volts. So I'll stick me 2 little screwdrivers in my AC plug or receptacle. I clip the probe on one of them, and I take that minus lead. They said use the minus lead and the probe lead on AC. Well, if you remember, I just hooked ground to the chassis. And when I touched that, I knew it could happen, so I touched it really fast. When I touched that other screwdriver with that clip lead, big sparks. I said, oh, okay, I know what's wrong.
Oops. Yeah.
I know what's wrong. The chassis cannot be grounded on this unit. And I don't like that, to tell you the truth. But so I had to cut I had to cut the ground off, you know. I had to cut the ground loose that I just put in there. Anyway, so I cut it loose, and I calibrated it on AC, and it works. But you can see right there the problem. Oh, the tubes were okay, or they appear to be okay. The 9-pin tube here is a 12AU7, very common tube, and the smaller 7-pin tube there is a 6AL5, which is basically a dual diode, and you can replace that 6AL5 with 2 germanium diodes or 2 Schottky diodes. But the tube was okay, so I just left it there, and it's all tuned up, cleaned up. I kind of washed it up, and the thing about it is, though, they had a leak-proof battery in there, and you know, the guy did right. So let me just say this to everybody out there, and so much equipment here, antenna analyzers that have 8 pin-like batteries in it and stuff like that. You don't want to go through the trouble of checking those batteries all the time, but I have come close to catching batteries just starting to leak a little bit in some of my good test equipment. So here's the thing. If you learn anything tonight, you need to open those things up. Look at the batteries, man. Look at them and make sure they're not leaky, because that'll just really mess your battery holder up.
And it seems like the modern batteries leak worse than the older batteries from days gone by.
Wait a minute. Hey, there's some kind of guarantee at the bottom. Something or swelling.
Yeah,
of
Mark
this
P
battery.
is asking, will Rayovac make good on that battery?
Swelling of this battery, a new comparable. Oh, this was they're talking about a flashlight. If it causes swelling by this battery, they will send you a new comparable flashlight. That's kind of cool. I can get me a new flashlight. I doubt they'll get me an ICO 232. Anyway, so there we go. That's some things interesting, I guess, to talk about tonight. We had fun with them. I'm not going to talk about the satellite tonight. We'll talk about it maybe, not next week for sure, but we will.
When you come back.
We'll talk about it when we come back. But I'm going to show you the SAT. I'm going to show you the SAT PC box that we use. This replaces your computer. There's no, you don't even hook it to your computer anymore. This little box does everything. It does everything. We'll talk about that probably next in a couple weeks, maybe. All right, so it's almost time. We're going to call it quits tonight. Okay. Anything else we want to talk about or cover? Satellite.
No, I may not be here the week after next because I get doctors playing with me too.
Well, okay.
Theoretically, it's only going to be in the morning and afternoon, but
Yeah.
where they're going and what they're doing, I may not be in a position to want to sit down and be on the air for an hour and a half or so.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I tell you, I may come out of this surgery Tuesday feeling just great and no issues at all.
Well, you make it sound like they're going in with a shovel, and in reality, they go in with real tiny, tiny tools.
Yeah.
Like catheters and things like that. And
Well, but
work around things.
they use that shovel to move all your arteries, your voice box, all that.
No, they use the jaws of life for that.
Oh yeah, that's right. The jaws of life for that. And that's the only thing I'm worried about here is the damaging. It says they could damage nerves, they could damage the voice, whatever.
Yeah, typically that's worst case though.
Yeah.
So no,
Well, I
He'll
am
be
going to
fine.
ask the doctor before he puts me to sleep how many successful operations have you had and how many died. I'll ask him that before I go to sleep.
and he'll ask this week.
Yeah, this week. That's kind of like, have you ever been convicted of a crime? And you look back and say, convicted? No.
Yeah, exactly.
That came from a movie. Anybody know what movie that was?
Ooh,
Have you ever been convicted of a crime? Convicted? No.
you got me.
That came from a movie. They signed up to get a new wardrobe. I'll give you that hint.
Pretty Woman.
No. They, I'll give you another hint. The big toe. The big toe.
Big toe.
Somebody is like a big toe to them. All
Nope.
right. Anybody in the
Unless
chat
it's
room
the
know what I'm talking
Godfather.
about? Huh?
Unless it's The Godfather.
No. All right. If I said Sergeant Hulka, man, you guys must
Nope.
not. Y'all must have been asleep. There we go. We got an answer.
Stripes.
Yeah. Oh, they were a bunch of losers, and they signed up to get new clothes, and oh man, that was a fun show. All right, guys, it is 9:30. We'll say good night to everybody. 73 to everybody. We're glad you were with us tonight. Try us next week. I think Brett's going to try his toughest to have something on next week. So we'll see how
Yes,
that
I will
goes.
try
Who
my
knows?
hand at video production.
Who knows? I might just drop in next week. If I can get
There
out
you
of
go.
if I can get out of the hospital by say 3:00 in the afternoon, I may take me a nap, and I may be back in here at 8:00.
Is it supposed to be an outpatient procedure?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No,
Wow.
it's outpatient. Although I read on the internet where a lot of them is 1 or 2 days stay, but you know how insurance is now.
True. Yeah, but if they're going to be taking a shovel or jaws of life to open you up, that might take a little longer to heal.
Yeah. The only part I'm worried about is not being able to breathe. That's the only part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. 73. Good night, everybody. We'll see you
Good night.
later. And let's see what we got going here. Let's see.
Let us know how it goes, Tom.
Yeah, we'll do that. 32. What's going on here?
Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central at W5KUB.com. Roundtable's waiting for you. Eh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. GD's been a doubt, grab your mic, MC. Another Tuesday, feeling just right. GD, from coast to coast, we're tuning in at W5KUB. Let's begin. Whether you're a novice or extra class, there's a place for you. Come join the blast. Building bridges from shack to shack. Ham radio family, we got your back. It's the best ham show on earth. Amateur radio roundtable, full of worth. Tune in 8 p.m. Tuesday nights at W5KUB.com. It's out of sight from QRP to satellites in flight. Tom's got you covered, he's bringing the light. Come on now, don't miss the view. The roundtable's waiting for you. Plain KW5GP breaks it down so clean. MC networks and tech dream scene. GD and PD, building the future, one note at a time, explaining it easy like a nursery rhyme. And then Black WY7BG hits the stream with Hamfest treasures, a picker's dream. Radios, gadgets, vintage and new, showing off the finds that make us drool. It's the best ham show on earth. Amateur radio roundtable, full of worth. Tune in 8 p.m. Tuesday nights at W5KUB.com. It's out of sight from QRP to satellites in flight. Tom's got you covered, he's bringing the light. Come on now, don't miss the view. The roundtable's waiting for you. Questions fly, the chat lights up. Stories shared over coffee cups. Laughs and lessons on the air. Tuesday nights, we're all there.